The Premier is gone.
Yes, the coward has already fled. The USSR is at death's door, comrade.
Which is why we must hurry. Sir, I beg you, please.
Hogy meglepődött? Tényleg, annyira meglepő, hogy ott volt egy piros gomb. Azt azért nem mondanám.
What is this? Some sort of escape route?
Nosza, 12 months ago, I was put in charge of a top secret project.
Whatever it is too late.
With respect, General, you are wrong.
Na mihez nincs egy túl késő? És mi az a titkos projekt?
For you see, sir, time is on our side.
Na jó napot, egyébként mindenkinek is jó estét.
No, it isn't
Yeah,
ready.
yeah.
It hasn't been tested. We don't even know if it works.
If what works?
My time machine.
Prepare these coordinates.
Na, egy időgépünk van. Húha.
Please.
Szóval mi
Now.
is ez? Na mi is ez? Hát persze,
Sir.
hogy ered el, gyerekek.
No.
Méghozzá a harmadik. Ez van.
No,
Viszont,
please.
úgyhogy próbálunk vele játszani. Visszafele kompat.
Get in!
Visszafele kompatibilis, úgyhogy visszamegyek az időbe.
You cannot be serious.
Come, Comrade General. A new world order awaits.
Na, egy új világrend vár rájuk. Gondolja komolyan? Dehogy nem. Már megy is. Kicsit beteg a fickó. Imádjuk ezt a rájátszós megoldást. Úgy.
No, touch nothing. We mustn't do anything to disrupt space-time continuum.
Where are we?
Brussels, 1927.
1927.
The Solvay International Physics Conference.
Is that Einstein?
Yes, Doctor. The man most responsible for our enemy's technological superiority. The man who made them invincible.
What do you plan to do?
Gentlemen?
Doctor!
Opsa, ugye? Végeztek Einsteinnel? Várja, annak idején az Red Alert 1-ben nem ő végzett Hitlerrel? Ugyanígy módon
I do not
Einstein
understand.
bácsi?
We have
Hát egy kicsit
altered
szebb
the
az
past
épület.
and changed the present.
Megváltozott a jelen, bizony,
Good to
bizony.
see you, sir. I have the reports from the front that you requested.
Thank you. What do you have for me?
I'm sorry, Comrade General. I meant
És
Premier
persze őket
Cherdenko.
mindenki ismeri, hiszen megváltozott a jelen, de őket ismeri.
Sir, the Allies are on the run soon. Western Europe will be ours.
You hear that, General? Our enemies
nyugodt
have
Európa
been
a ruszkiké.
defeated.
Hold on, sir. I'm receiving an emergency transmission from our northern base.
They're attacking! There are too many! We have to evacuate!
Who is attacking?
The Imperial war machine has been unleashed. Do not struggle against what is inevitable. All who stand in the way of our divine destiny will be swept away by the march of history. You will bow before us, or you will cease to exist.
Sir, it appears that the Empire has mounted a full-scale assault.
What empire?
The Empire of the Rising Sun, of course.
We now have two mortal enemies?
We must unleash our nuclear weapons.
Bizony,
Annihilate them
jönnek a
all.
japánok.
Excuse me, General?
Our nuclear weapons? Our atomic bombs?
Don't you understand? Without Einstein, there is no nuclear weapons because we have altered the space-time continuum. Oh, who knows what nightmares we have created.
Nincs atombomba, gyerekek. Mert nincs Einstein. Helyette viszont japánok. Ojjjjjjj! Na, szóval az lesz a helyzet, hogy rég játszottuk RTS, ugye Nilo Watson és RTS szinten nagyon jól kezelhetnek a konzolot. Tehát teljesen jól játszottuk az játékot. A Red Alert-ben ugye PC-n volt az emberekkel, az a mi kedvencem is még bizonyos, mert szeretjük azt azért. Tehát az egérrel az nem miatt. És hát az azért is, mivel ez 2008, tehát hogy a harmadik résszel már nem nyomultunk PC-t, de az első kettő az bizony ott volt a szeren. Tehát azzal úgy el voltunk. Megnézzük, hogy működik ez nekünk most. Konzolon keresztül, jó? Nézzünk egy options-t. Settings, video settings. Jó, a zene már megvett. Oké. Nem mentünk. Settings. Nem! Azt át akartuk váltani. Mégis csak. Könnyebb. Jó, a többit azt majd úgyis meglátjuk. Legyen azért felirat. Na, azt mondja. Kamera. Igen. Ez meg a rotál, tehát jobb bal mozog, az meg forgat, statikus. Select tehát a képernyő látható az az X-ek. A zölddel választunk, B-vel megszüntetjük E-választást és Y. Oké. Action fönt. Az a parancsmenü lesz. Hát, jó. Nekem megfelel. Na nézzük egy tutoriált. Azért nem árt átesni. Szerintem. Mégiscsak hogy kell?
Oi, welcome to Command and Conquer Red Alert 3. I'm an Allied Guardian tank, and these prats and I are here to tell you about how we think you should be doing your job. Sir.
Yes, we've temporarily called a truce to make sure you do not send us to our deaths needlessly. To begin with, we will tell you how to move your viewpoint around the battlefield and how to command your units, including the best ones, such as me, the Soviet hammer tank. Just look at this body compared with the teeny little Japanese tank to my left.
Shut up!
Ow!
Please excuse him, sir. Let us begin.
Jaj!
Oh, blimey. Right, okay. To move your camera around the battlefield, just move your left stick around. Try moving your camera now. Easy enough. Now, To rotate the camera, move the right stick, left or right.
Try rotating your camera now.
To zoom the camera in and out, simply move the right stick
elég
up
közelében
or down.
mutattál,
Try zooming your camera now.
As you go about fussing with the camera, sir, remember you can always
elég
click the right
közelien
stick
nézed.
button to reset the
És
viewing
gyorsan
angle.
mozog.
My goodness, Commander. You have completed your first objective.
Aha.
Right, proper you have. Objectives, as you might have surmised, are special goals you need to accomplish in order to progress through the campaigns.
In general, objectives will be labeled using special markers out on the battlefield. Follow the on-screen indicators to get to them.
If at any time you're not sure what the blazes you're supposed to be doing, hit the start button to pay a visit to the mission menu. It'll list all your current objectives.
Good. Now that you have an idea for how to move around the battlefield, let's move on to controlling your units. Here come some of our hated enemies now.
Right, to select a unit, just move your cursor over it and press the A button.
Try selecting one of these allied peacekeepers.
Szóval válaszol. Jó.
Nice! He's definitely one of ours, sir.
You may also press and hold the A button for an expanded selection
Jelölni
cursor.
mindenkit, aki a
Any units you
képernyőn van.
sweep with the cursor will be selected. And if you want more units added to your selection, hold down the left bumper while selecting. Okay, now that we've reminded you how to select units, you'll need to move them around the battlefield. Ow!
I was getting to that. To move your units whilst having them selected, press the A button with your cursor over the desired destination.
Try moving your units to the designated area up ahead.
Confirmed. 10-4, sir. On point.
Menjünk utánuk.
En route. Scanning perimeter. That's affirmative.
Ó, így mutatja nekem. Ja, ide.
See? They obey you without question.
Notice, Commander, how the darkened area of the battlefield revealed itself as your forces drew near. This darkened area is the fog of war and represents parts of the battlefield that may be hiding enemy troop movements. Be careful when venturing into unseen areas, and use your scouts to survey the terrain before committing your forces. Now, up ahead are some dummy targets that you are going to destroy. They resemble real-life Soviet conscripts, but I assure you they are merely robots we created for this exercise. See how foolishly they behave?
They seem so real. Observe that you can distinguish your forces from the robots based on the colored blips in the radar in the upper right corner of your battlefield control display. The color of the blips refers to the color of the different sides involved in a battle.
If you encounter different colored blips as you clear the fog of war, those are likely enemy forces, so be prepared. If you need to take a closer look at your radar, you can always use radar mode. To activate radar mode, pull and hold the left trigger. Try this now. Hi, that is it. In radar mode, you may navigate the battlefield much more quickly using the left stick. You may also use the right stick to move your cursor independently of your view. This allows you to quickly order your forces anywhere on the map.
Right. So, to issue an attack order to your units, whilst having them selected, put your cursor over a target and press A.
Notice that as you move your cursor over those dummies, it changes to an attack cursor.
Destroy all the target dummies in the area.
Talk to me. Scanning perimeter. Take him down.
Nehéz eltalálni.
Neutralize them.
Célozzátok már.
He's done.
So long, you stupid robots.
Bloody robots! Now, in addition to issuing attack commands on specific targets, you can have your units move and attack any enemies along the way.
To issue an attack move command, while having your unit selected, just double tap the A button on any open terrain. You can also use an assault move command by double tapping and holding button A with forces selected. Then, use the wider reticle to paint enemy targets. Once you've painted some targets, release button A and your forces will automatically attack those targets to the best of their ability.
Now look there. We need you to lead us to that strategic point, yet many robots stand in the way. If you please, issue an attack move order to strategic point. You have the command. Lead us to victory!
Right here, comrade. Full throttle.
Ez lesz a taktikai felállás.
Looking around.
Ez azért jó. Azt akarom... Settingset. Game settings. Scroll speedet. Én ezt lejjebb veszem. Annyira gyors.
Bring in the hammer. Crack him open. There. Do him up.
Mindenkivel.
Let's take care of this. Full throttle.
Nem. Tudod, ennyi, hogy egy rossz mozdulat és már mozgás, és nem pedig támadás.
You now know how to move around the battlefield, as well as how to make your forces shoot their enemies dead.
Azt hiszem a tutorialokat fogjuk így
We suggest you move on to the next lesson on building a military base for further instruction on properly commanding an army.
See you there.
Tűzijátéklövés, ez elég gáz volt. Oké, ez volt a lény. Na lássuk, hogy hogyan tudunk épületet szépíteni.
Good to have you, Commander. In this mission, we'll be reminding you all about constructing a base for each of the factions. We'll start with the Allies for obvious reasons. First things first, though. You need to know about the command menu. Pull and hold the right trigger to bring up the command menu.
Ne vicces. Ott a tengerparti homok. Meg az kis pulizás. Na jó.
The command menu lets you do everything, from build units and structures to use your unit's special abilities and much more. It's arranged like the face of a clock. You can make selections along the periphery by moving the left stick and pressing button A to confirm. In general, you can drill deeper or confirm selections in the command menu with button A, or go back up or cancel selections with button B. Go ahead and get comfortable using this thing. It lets you manage all your forces and production no matter where you're focusing your attention in battle.
Here we have one of the hated Allied mobile construction vehicles. The MCV will unpack into a construction yard. To unpack it, select it, then use its unpack special ability by bringing up the command menu and pressing the A button. Go on, don't be shy.
Observe the ghosted image of the construction yard attached to your cursor. Now, press the A button anywhere on open terrain to order your MCV to unpack at that location.
Thank you for waiting, sir. As requested.
Arra nem enged. Mert figyelj már, én van, hogy kinyitjuk itt. Nem lesz a bogon. Így rajta mutatja, de egyébként meg ott az RB az a gyors. Pakoljunk, de ott még nem.
Deploying as ordered.
Ott, akkor ott. Packolunk.
What can we do for you, sir?
Ja, azt nyomom, és akkor utána az X-el. Oké.
Setting up.
Azt mondom, place. Menj oda. Pakold ki magad. Na,
Best
végre.
remember, there's a shortcut for using your unit's special abilities. Just hold the right bumper with the unit selected, then press the X button.
In general, special abilities are executed with the A button, or cancelled with the B button. The B button is also used to deselect units or structures.
Bear in mind that there may be impassable areas of the map where you're not allowed to place down your structures. When you try to place a structure down over impassable or unbuildable terrain, red cells will appear on the build grid, indicating that you're unable to place a structure there.
Now that your MCV is unpacked into a construction yard, you should have some new construction options available to you. To access your production structure's build queue, select the con yard and open the command menu. Alternatively, if you don't have anything selected, open the command menu and drill down to your production structures in the 12 o'clock position.
Tehát, hogyha mondjuk nem vagyok ott, akkor erre ezt is
Look at what we
válaszolom.
have here. Looks like you have access to build a power plant. Ow!
Don't overdo it. Commander, select the power plant button to begin building it. All allied structures build over time inside the
nem kell ott
construction yard.
lennem, nem kell
Once they're ready,
visszafornom,
you'll be able to place
bárhol
them on the
ezekből
battlefield right
az
away.
építkezést tudok.
Your power plant is now ready to be placed. Simply open the command menu and press the A button to select the power plant. Then press the A button on an open spot on the terrain.
Aha, középen ott van. Jó, és ez a terület, amelyen belül építkezhetünk.
That's the way.
Szépen.
As the name suggests, a
Aha, ez
power
gyártja
plant
nekünk
provides
az
your base with
energiát, ugye?
power. All your structures, with the exception of your power plant and construction yard, use power. You can tell how much power you've got to spare by glancing at the power meter next to your radar. It's important to understand the consequences of a low power situation. While in low power, your units and structures will build at a reduced speed, and your base defenses won't work. So it's always good to have plenty of power as you build up.
The next thing you'll need to get base humming along is an ore refinery.
Igen,
This structure
szóval
comes
kell a
with a free
védelemhez, meg kell
prospector
ahhoz
vehicle,
mindenet,
which will collect ore from that nearby ore mine. To build your ore refinery, open the command menu, navigate to your production structures, and press the ore refinery button, just as you did with the power plant.
Oké, és ez a másik.
Bear in mind that a single ore refinery likely will not be enough to fund your military escapades. Try to build an ore refinery next to each ore mine near your base, but be careful to defend them.
Now that construction is complete, open the command menu and select the ore refinery and consider where to place it on the battlefield. While you're able to place your refinery anywhere on open terrain, the optimal location is just in front of an ore mine. You'll see those spots ghosted on the terrain. As you move your cursor over those spots, your structure preview should snap to the optimal position. Then, just press the A button to place your ore refinery and you're set.
Properly executed.
When you place your ore refinery, you get a prospector as part of the deal, and he'll go about collecting ore for you automatically. Pro tip, friend. If by some freak accident one of your prospectors or ore collectors is destroyed, you can always build another from your ore refineries. Just select the ore refinery and you'll see it can build another resource vehicle as its special ability. As long as your ore refinery is close to a mine, you only need one vehicle gathering from it. So don't waste credits making more of those little tykes than you need.
I always wonder, though, how come the mightiest nations in the world need to collect ore while killing each other? I mean, what is even in that stuff? Ow!
Don't ask ridiculous questions! Ore is the primary resource in Red Alert 3. Refineries automatically converted to credits, which is the currency used to purchase all units and structures. All mines have a finite amount of resources that will eventually slow to trickle. So, if you deplete an ore mine, it's best to try and expand to another in order to maintain a steady income.
You now have power and an economy set up. You're ready to start training units for the fight. Go ahead and open up the command menu and build a boot camp. Remember to place it down by opening the command menu once it's built, pressing A to select it, then pressing A again on open terrain. Incidentally, you can rotate the facing of a structure you're about to plot down by holding down the A button and moving the left stick around. Let the button go when ready.
Oké, most gyűlik a pénz. Na. Ezek civil épületek. Igen, na építsük meg. Hogy gyűlik szépen jobbra fönt a pénz. Igazán jelezhette volna, hogy készen van.
Now that you have a boot camp, you're able to train some infantry. To do this, you may select either your boot camp and open the command menu, or navigate to your infantry queues in the 2 o'clock position in the command menu. This will bring up the available units you're able to train. Let's train some so-called peacekeepers. Select the peacekeeper button to start training one. You may queue up multiple peacekeepers by continuing to select on his portrait.
You can also halt the production of units or structures by pressing the B button while you have them highlighted in the command menu. Pressing B a second time will cancel production and refund any credits that were spent. Pressing button A on a paused production process will resume production.
You can set a different rally point for them by selecting the structure, moving your cursor to the desired location, and pressing button A. All 3 factions produce units in the same way, from the respective queues in the command menu. By the by, many of your structures aren't restricted to being built on land. You can set them up on water as well. If you build another power plant, try placing it out in the drink. It doesn't cost you any extra, and most ground units won't be able to get to it that way.
Observe, however, that allied structures may only be built in the radius surrounding the construction yard. You may expand your build radius by creating command hubs, which convert from your prospectors. Please select your prospector and use its special ability to unpack it somewhere. Across the water, perhaps. Go ahead, Commander.
Let's have a look around. Aha, 5.
It's a beautiful day. Prospector ready, sir. Prospector. It's a beautiful day. Let's have a look around. I didn't think of that.
Most akkor ő oda megy. És megpróbál egy kis szigetet ott létrehozni. Aha, ő képes a vízen menni.
Objective complete.
Yeah, that's it. Also, bear in mind that the Allies' technology level is local to their construction yards or command hubs. That means not all your production structures on the battlefield may offer you the same construction options. You can upgrade your construction yard or your command hub by selecting them, opening the command menu, and selecting the heightened clearance button. Try requesting heightened clearance on both your con yard and your command hub now.
Nyertem mind a kettőt. Ehhez viszont ki kell választani. Az upgrade-hez.
That's it. Now the other.
Amit tudnánk egyébként, hogy most mit... Aha, ott az RB-vel megjelenik gyorsan. Jó. Upgrade-elünk. Igen, kék csíkos rajta fut, az mutatja, hogy éppen hol tartunk bármi nemű fejlesztésben.
Objective complete.
There it is. Heightened clearance costs you, and there's an even higher clearance level available after that. You need to decide when and where to request better tech when commanding the Allies. Else things may turn rotten.
Yes. Also, should you ever have need to run away like a little girl, you may pack up your conyard, then unpack it on the water. The boot camp and armor facility are the only Allied structures you may not place on the water. Your seaport, on the other hand, is the only structure you may not build on land. Ow! What was that for?
Silence! Surely the commander wants to move on to the other factions by now. Feel free to continue dabbling with the Allies, then select me when you are ready to continue.
Oké, építsünk egy szövetséges. Indítsuk be. Beindítható. Aha, egyszerre kettőt nem tudunk. Már pirosban van. Egyrészt szükségünk van. Ez nem upgrade-elhető? Akkor szükségünk van még egy. Csünk ilyet. Hogy válasszam ki. Jó, ezzel egyébként ki is választottam. Mehetünk tovább.
This monstrosity is the Soviet construction yard. You will see that the Soviets build differently from the Allies. Select the construction yard and open the command menu, or just navigate to the production structures queue in the command menu. Then select the
reactor.
reactor.
Szövetségeseket is vettük. Jó, és akkor most...
Notice how the command menu closed automatically to let you make your next move. Now place the reactor on open terrain as you did with the Allied structures. Unlike the Allies, the Soviets carelessly build their structures out on the battlefield.
Notice how the structure is hastily being thrown together in the field. While it's building up, it's vulnerable to enemy attack, so be cautious when placing your structures. All Soviet structures build up in this way.
Just like the Allies, however, you can pause and cancel a structure's build-up by navigating to that structure in the command menu and using the B button. And of course, your Soviet structures may be placed at sea, with the exceptions of the barracks and war factory.
Oi, aren't you forgetting something?
Yet. At least, not anymore. Commander, one truly unique Soviet structure you should be aware of is the crusher crane. Try building one now from your production structures queue.
És az miért szedte le? Mert azóta várhatóan a területet fogja mi?
Crusher cranes work much like construction yards, so now you can build two structures at once from your two separate build queues. What's more, your crane's repair drones will automatically repair nearby vehicles, or you can order these vehicles into its grinders to crush them for a quick refund. To access your newly added build queues, open the command menu with the crusher crane selected. When you have multiple queues of a type available, you can cycle through them in the command menu by pressing the A button without moving the stick. You can build multiple production structures to gain more build queues, allowing you to build more stuff at once. Of course, you'll need plenty of income to support this. Now, please feel free to continue exploring the richness of the Soviet build system. When you're done, please select the tsunami tank to proceed.
Objective complete. Building. Building. Construction complete. Construction complete. New construction options. Building.
Ez azok ott voltak. Na mindegy.
Construction complete. New construction
Ready
options.
for the collection.
Building. Training.
Wow! Hol az a maci? Harci medve.
Construction complete. New construction options.
Jó, hát szóval menjünk tovább. Akkor ez így lesz az építkezős, gyerekek. Na most be fogja mutatni nekem a japán erőket is.
Let us continue, Commander, for this will be worth it. The Empire of the Rising Sun has the most unique build system in that our structures are all created from special units called nanocores. Cores may unfurl at the location of your choosing, much like an MCV unpacks into a construction yard. However, unfurled Imperial structures cannot pack back up. Go into your production structures queue and build a generator core. The generator core will be yours to control as soon as it emerges from your construction yard. If you select it, you may give it move commands around the map like any unit. To unfurl it into an instant generator while having it selected, use its unfurl special ability, much like you did with the MCV earlier in this lesson. You should now have a ghosted image of the instant generator attached to your cursor. Select a spot on open terrain to make your generator core unfurl at that location.
Nano core moving. Generator core. Generator core. Unpack location set.
All nanocore are amphibious, so they can cross land as well as water. This means the Empire of the Rising Sun can spread its borders far and wide. The Imperial Docks is the only structure that cannot unfurl on land, while the Mecha Bay and Instant Dojo cannot unfurl at sea. One last thing about Imperial production structures. They must be upgraded individually to unlock new construction options. You'll find these upgrades in their build queues. Now, Commander, do you see how superior our production capability is compared with that of my barbaric friends here?
I still think ours is better. Oh no. Ow! Ow!
Keep fussing with the Imperial build system if you want, and when you're all set, select me and we'll wrap up.
Building.
Refinery core ready. Refinery core.
Ezekkel úgy van, hogy ezek oda gurulnak, és akkor oda rakható le.
Set core unpack.
Tehát kis apró pénzbe szokott megy, és akkor majd kényül le.
Building.
Dojo core ready. Dojo core.
Construction complete. New construction
I'll
options.
collect the goods.
Unpack location set.
Construction complete. New construction options.
Na, jól van. Válasszuk ki.
Well, that concludes the lesson on base building. Don't worry, the other ones will be shorter. Mostly. Let's shove off, lads. Commander, see you then.
Ow!
Szegény, muszkitalmakat szóltak. Megvan. Na nézd. Az egységekről mit tud mondani?
Why, hello again, Commander. In this lesson, you're going to get acquainted with your units and some of the abilities that make them unique. Every unit in Red Alert 3 has some sort of special ability, in addition to its primary ability. The majority of your unit's primary abilities is to attack their targets. A unit's special ability may put a nasty status effect on an enemy, switch to an alternate weapon, or even transform into an entirely different unit.
Let us go over how to use special abilities now.
Okay.
Select that allied cryocopter, if you please. The cryocopter's special ability is the shrink beam. With the cryocopter selected, open the command menu and select its special ability, or hold the right bumper and press the X button. Notice that the shrink beam is a targeted special ability, which means you have to press the A button over a target to use it. Other types of special abilities take effect as soon as you press the ability button. Now then, use the shrink beam on my good friend the Soviet Hammer tank.
Wait, what? No way, not me again!
Let's see.
Melting!
As stated earlier, not all special abilities need to be targeted like the cryocopter's shrink beam. Some abilities cause units to switch weapon modes. Blimey, that tank looks like he's lost control, and all you've got is an allied hydrofoil. Its primary weapon is an anti-air cannon that won't do you any good here. However, if you use its special ability, it'll switch from its gun to the weapon jammer. Select the hydrofoil now and ready the weapon jammer by selecting it in the command menu or pressing the X button while holding the right bumper. Proper. Now, have your hydrofoil fire on that Soviet apocalypse tank on the shore. We'll send him away. Ah, so much for that tea party. As you can see, the apocalypse tank can no longer fire. Not so scary now, is he? So remember, even the toughest enemy units may be vulnerable to your lesser units' special abilities. Learn them all and never give up.
If you're finished with your motivational speech, perhaps we can continue? Commander, let's go over a unit whose special ability is to transform. One basic example is the MCV, though let us take a look at a more exciting case in one of the Empire of the Rising Sun's versatile Mecha Tengu units. The Mecha Tengu is an amphibious, hovering anti-infantry unit that can transform into the Jet Tengu, a flying air superiority fighter. Not only does the transform ability affect how it navigates the battlefield, it also means the unit changes from having anti-ground weapons to anti-air weapons. Select the Mecha Tengu and use its special ability.
The stuff of legend! Looking for some fun!
Impressive, no? Now, order your Jet Tengu to destroy that miserable cryocopter. Oh, and don't worry, it is merely a training robot carefully disguised to look like a real vehicle.
Jet Tengu here! Expiring rings! Don't give him a chance!
Itt váltunk a kettő alakja között. És nem tudunk olyan gyorsan, visszaváltani. Ez meg nem tud így szépen azt lőni. Oké. Ja, ott a föl buff sorok mutatja, hogy mire váltunk.
What's this?
No robots are going to get past you, Commander. You should know there are some units at your disposal whose primary ability either isn't a weapon at all, or will change depending on what you tell it to attack. For example, each faction has its own type of engineer unit, like this swarthy fellow over here. Engineers are special units that can capture any enemy structure or neutral tech structure. Much like with moving or attacking, you can select your engineer, then press the A button on a capturable structure. That'll make him go after it. Look, there seems to be an oil derrick you can capture out in the water. Oil derricks are neutral tech structures that provide additional income. Go get it.
Might be useful.
És át tud menni a vízen is. Aha, csónakázik.
Off he goes. Note that engineers are amphibious, so they automatically switch to a keen aquatic form when they get to water. Not all units are amphibious, of course. Notice you can issue capture commands into the fog of war, assuming the structure is still there when you get to it.
Hey, where did that engineer go anyway? Ow!
He went into the structure, you fool, and there he shall remain forever. For that is the way of the engineer.
You may have noticed that when you highlighted that enemy structure with your engineer selected, your cursor changed to a garrison cursor. That garrison cursor indicates a structure you can enter. Your basic infantry can't garrison enemy structures or neutral tech structures like the engineer can, but they can garrison civilian structures such as hotels and houses.
Fear not, for civilians have long since abandoned such structures once they heard we were coming.
When infantry garrison these structures, they receive extra protection, as the building they're in will take damage instead of the units themselves, should they come under fire. Garrisoning your units into civilian structures is a good tactic, both from an offensive and a defensive perspective. It helps to secure locations, force enemies to take an alternate path, or give your units more cover near to your base, should the enemy send a force to destroy you. Now garrison that nearby structure by issuing a move order onto it whilst having some peacekeepers selected.
Securing building.
Good. They're in. And here comes trouble. As you can see, those enemy training robots fired upon the structure rather than directly at your peacekeepers. Watch out though, because each faction has ways of clearing out garrison structures.
The Allies and Empire can try rushing their peacekeepers or Imperial warriors into a garrison structure, while the Soviet conscripts can use their Molotov cocktails.
Of course, you could just blow the structures up if you cannot be bothered by such details.
Now, let's say you need to get your peacekeepers out of the structure. Just select the structure and use the evacuate command, just like using a special ability on a unit. Do this now. Some of your units can also be garrisoned by your infantry. The multi-gunner IFV is a unique allied vehicle whose weapon takes on the characteristics of whichever infantry unit hops inside. Order one of your peacekeepers into that IFV and watch what happens. Amazing. All right.
Talk to me. Peacekeeper, ready for contact. That's affirmative.
If I may, normally the IFV's weapon works best against aircraft, but once you garrisoned your peacekeeper into it, it changed into an anti-infantry weapon. While the IFV can only contain one infantry unit at a time, other vehicles can hold more and can transport your infantry around the battlefield. For example, the Riptide ACV is admittedly a good transport for getting infantry quickly and safely from one point to another, although infantry cannot fire out of it. Garrison your remaining infantry into the Riptide now.
No complaints.
On alert. En route. Right here. Scanning perimeter.
Na, szálljatok be.
Now that they're garrisoned, let's move your Riptide across this lake and over to the shore on the other side. Look for the marker on the radar.
Riptide here. That's 10-4.
Riptides are a special type of unit in that they're amphibious, meaning they can traverse both land and water. As my comrade said, not all units are amphibious, so it's good to make note of the ones that are. Some units behave differently on land and water. For instance, when your Riptide is on water, its torpedo tubes open to give it additional firepower. Now that you've made it to the other side, let's get those peacekeepers out. All transports have the not-so-special ability to evacuate their passengers. Use the evacuate ability now.
Cha-ching!
Finally, let us discuss contextual attacks. A contextual attack is what you get when your cursor changes to something other than a normal attack cursor. Select the allied commander who has showed up so very unexpectedly.
Locked and loaded.
This Agent Tanya has different ways of attacking targets depending on the type of target. When you order her to attack enemy infantry, such as these lifelike robots, your cursor will be that of a normal attack cursor. When ordered to demolish a target, Tanya will move very close to the target, set some charges, and blow it up. This is an example of a contextual attack. Go ahead and dispose of those forces using the commando.
By the way, try pressing the directional pad in any direction to snap your cursor to the closest unselected target in that direction. This is useful for pinpointing targets.
D4 coming through. Say goodbye. Later, chump. Go back to sleep. Later, chump. Good night. Another loser. Cha-ching. Good night. Later, chump.
Csak azért van, mert...
Other units, such as our allied spies like this one here, also have contextual attacks. Select the spy, then use his contextual attack on one of those enemy training dummies.
Spy ready.
Now who's the dummy, am I right? As you can see, the spy's primary ability is to disguise himself as the enemy. Alternatively, if you highlight an enemy structure, you can try to infiltrate it to disrupt the enemy's base.
Infiltration has different effects depending on which type of structure is infiltrated. Experiment with all the possibilities. Incidentally, the Empire of the Rising Sun Shinobi unit may also infiltrate structures. Only the tactless Soviets lack an infiltrator.
Oh! But why?
Come on, lads, we have to get through this. Commander, that's the end of this lesson. See you in the next one.
Yes, I copy. Of course, sir.
Hát ez is megvan. Na, srácok, nem jutottunk az összes tutorial végére, de majd befejezzük legközelebb. De belevágtunk, így az első 1 órás kaladunkba. Most ennyi, nem folytatódik. És... de legközelebb azért ezzel kíváncsiak vagyunk. Kampányt indítunk, és el tudjuk kezdeni kivel szovjet. Aha. És szovjeteket viszi előre. Jól van. Na, 3 kampányunk van. Na, legyetek jól. Sziasztok!